Hello once again, everybody. Chris Besnoy, Ice TV, icecan.com. Welcome to video 5. We've already gone through the reception area, another video. We've gone through the main office area in another video, the gowning area, very important video. Go ahead and watch it. Today, we're going to go through the main hallways. This is very important for the flow of your facility. It's very important for GPP, GMP, GXP, ABC compliance. And by the way, ABC is a joke. I will probably make it often in these videos because there's an acronym for everything. Nonetheless, we're going to talk about these main production hallways. So as we mentioned in another video, the gowning video specifically, this door leading into the main production hallway is what we considered a clean space door. So we want to make sure this is access controlled. We want to make sure that anybody entering into the main hallway is fully gowned, fully sanitized. They've got their hairnets on, their booties, their hands sanitized, whatever the case may be. We want to make sure that when a staff member enters from the gowning into the main hallway, they are clean. That being said, the main hallway is pretty straightforward. You want to make sure it's enclosed and fully sealed. You want to make sure the walls are washable. You can wipe them down. You can sanitize them. Make sure you wrap your SOPs around how you're going to sanitize those walls for compliance. You're going to want to make sure there are working lights inside this hallway. Cleanable, sanitizable working lights. We want to make sure they're LED and want to make sure they have covers on them so that, again, you can sanitize them for compliance. This particular design has a number of hallways. You don't necessarily need to have as many hallways, or you could have more. Just keep in mind, the more hallways you have, the more expensive it's going to be. This particular design is interesting because we have the ability, if we ever wanted to segregate the production side from the cultivation side. So if you noticed here, we've got the mother room, the clone, the veg, the flowers, the extraction room, whatever the case may be, mainly for flowering and for the cultivation side, and the production side is actually down a separate hallway. We don't need to put a door there if we don't want to. Some EU GMP compliance requires there to be a separation between cultivation and processing. We may get into that in another video. The point being is that this separate hallway leads into the trimming, the drying, the packaging, which are typically considered to be processing rooms. Either way you look at it, we've got doors entering into each area. This is very important to make sure that we have not only access control into certain areas that you want to have access control, but also contamination control. We don't want these doors to be wide open because, let's face it, mother rooms, clone, veg, flower, they all have unique HVAC requirements and unique environment for growing. So we want to make sure we have these doors. And to note, make sure that these doors that enter into your cultivation and processing rooms, make sure they have door sweeps on the bottom. I see that often where the door has a big gap along the bottom. A door sweep is maybe $3 a door. Go ahead and put them in. It will do wonders for the HVAC in your room and, of course, contamination control. This specific design also features an emergency exit. Now, I want to talk about this for a second because it does have a unique feature in it. There are a number of emergency exits for code. You're going to want to comply with building code, your local building code. In this situation, the office area has actually 3 means of egress. Well, there's that main exit door. We've got another door that swings out. We've got an emergency exit door that swings out. So this is for the office area. It's based on how many steps a person has to take to leave a facility. But also in the main production area, we've got the main emergency exit door, but we also have what we would consider a secondary exit door. And we would have to configure these doors to be free egress at all times. Again, it's based on how many steps it takes somebody that could be in the clone room to exit facility in emergency. We won't get too far into building compliance. That's basically a building code, and your general contractor will know this. But this particular design features an emergency exit. You may notice it has 2 doors. These are 2 emergency exits. This is essentially an airlock. And the reason why we do this is that if somebody needs to exit the facility in an emergency, we want to make sure that we're controlling any contaminants that may come into the facility. So in other words, if there was no door here and there was only this door, if I open this door, I'm getting all the dirt, all the snow, all the wind, whatever from outside into the main production hallway. So in other words, we want to make sure that we are keeping this exit door locked and only for egress, this exit door locked and only for egress, but we are separating the dirty from the clean. That is an extra GXP compliance piece. You'll also notice that there is a sink in here. This is also very important. The reason being, this particular design, you can't see it here, but on the outside, there are some equipment that's outside that may need to be managed on a weekly basis. By providing a sink here, we give the ability for anybody that's inside the facility that's clean to be able to exit into this space to sanitize their hands. We give them the ability to exit into this space to maybe de-gown and leave for work that day. Maybe we give them the ability to exit into this space, wait for the door to be closed, sanitize their hands, whatever, wash their hands. Maybe there'll be a basket here for your gowns, and they have the ability to leave the facility if it's not an emergency, to go outside and make their way back to the front entrance or go home. In this particular case, we've just got an emergency exit. This area here has been deemed another sanitation area. In other words, for this particular design, staff can come into this door, wash their hands, clean anything they may need cleaned. They could get into another gown if they really wanted to, and they can leave back into the main production hallway because they are considered even cleaner than when they went in. Not often used, but again, a sink here for extra GXP compliance. As we move along, we've got this main hallway where the doors are leading to certain areas within the facility. We've got another hallway here with doors leading into more processing within the facility. And we've got a small little hallway here. Things to consider with a hallway, like I said before, fully sealed, food grade caulking along the top and the bottom, seals. We've got FRP, IRP panels, fully sanitized, washable. We've got working lights that are also fully sanitized. Usually LED is used. You're going to want to have some hand sanitization stations every now and again, just to make sure you are proving your compliance for the cannabis regulations by keeping your hands clean. You could have anything else you want in this hallway. I would keep in mind the distance that you have, how wide this hallway is. And the reason I would keep that in mind is that this particular hallway is around, I believe, 5 feet. And the reason why it's 5 feet is not only because the doors could swing out for compliance. In this particular case, they don't. They swing in, which is typical. But also you may have tables here for whatever reason. You could have, your facility could have RO tanks out here. They could have little water tanks. They could have sanitization stations. They could have any number of things in the hallway that you deem necessary for your production. They could have your irrigation system controls, your HVAC controls, whatever the case may be, maybe an electrical panel. And usually through code compliance, you have to be at least 2 feet from an electrical panel. Point being is that you want to make sure you manage the distance from the hallway, from wall to wall. You could have 2 racks that are going down this hallway, and you want to make sure that 2 staff members can actually have 2 racks of cannabis going side by side. Either way, point being is don't make the hallway too small. Common mistake that is made when designing a facility. The second thing I would note is make sure that your hallways always have an airlock for your emergency exit. I know we say that this door will only be used in emergencies, but let's face it, some staff will prop it open for summertime, whatever the case may be. The point being is make sure you have an airlock so no contamination gets into your main production hallways. Stay tuned for video 6, where we're going to start going into all these rooms, some of the equipment that you could find in the rooms, the build of the rooms, and why the layout is the way it is with this particular facility. Thanks for watching. See you soon. This informative video was brought to you by IceCan.com, the industry's first marketplace for new and used equipment. Whether you're looking for brand new equipment for your cannabis venture, maybe you're looking for some used equipment, we can easily source that for you and ship it to you anywhere in the world, right to your front doorstep. Maybe you're looking for some services. We know a lot of great people in this industry. You've been around for the past 10 years. We can easily help you and refer you to anybody that you may need, whether it's advisory services, regulatory compliance, maybe you're looking for some funding for your cannabis venture. Either way you look at it, we can easily help source that consultancy or that service you may need. Once again, thanks for watching. This is ICE TV, brought to you by IceCan.com.